Hello there everyone, and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we are going to be looking at an older product that is kind of being remarketed as of late, and that is DEVIOS or DEVIOS by Mark Lemon. And this, in my opinion, is the pinnacle, the ultimatum of iPhone magic. And yes, I did say iPhone magic because this is only available on iOS as per the name. So this is not available on Android. But if you do have an iPhone, I think that this is something that you are going to use, and probably the best conjunction and the best project regarding phone magic that I have ever purchased. I think it is phenomenal, and I think that it's way too under kind of talked about to my liking. So that's why I'm making a review, because I think a lot of you should know more about how good this actually is. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about DEVIOS. So what is DEVIOS? DEVIOS is essentially, as I said, a project revolving around iPhone magic, and that said is shortcuts. That is not me giving away the method. It says it in the product page, and even on Mark Lemon's website. It is clear as day. He even tells you what it is. It's a shortcut project, but I think it is the best one to ever hit the market for multiple reasons. Now, I won't be able to perform any of the effects for you, but I will be able to tell you all of the magnitude of stuff that you could do with DEVIOS. Well, one of the things that you could do with DEVIOS is have you open Safari on your phone, you have anyone type in a random name, you ask them to a random set of letters, you ask them to look and see if it makes sense. It probably won't, but then you ask them to see if anything on the scroll wheel, because as you know in Google, if you type something and you misspell it on the scroll wheel, it often corrects it for you. If anything there is possibly corrected that makes sense, they're going to do that, and then you'll be able to read what their mind. Another one is a very simple number force, so you have anyone punch in any digits on a calculator, and then when revealed, it is your force number. You can also do with DEVIOS one of the best, in my opinion, toxic forces I think of all time, because it's a spectator force where everyone in the audience has their phone out and everyone does the calculations at the same time as you, and every single person in the audience will have the same number that is displayed on your phone. So this is not, you know, putting a toxic force on every single phone. It is not. It is a devious way. I already have used this in a small show as serial number reveal. It played great. It is phenomenal. Everyone got the same number. You have a prediction. It hits always on the head. It is absolutely fantastic. You can also use it as a thumper if you want. So if you have someone with you, you can use the softwares provided to you as a thumper to cue you in on maybe a selected die of the roll or a selected number if you so want. And one of the main also features of this is you can also have anything inputted on a calculator freely, placed to someone's chest, and you'll immediately know what the number is as well. That's another option for you. But I think that most people will be interested in my opinion, one of the best peaks to ever exist on in like a technological fashion. And this is 100% how it works. You give the phone to someone, they go in your notes, they create the note, they write anything that they want. They place the phone to their chest, you talk to them, you ask them to think, you start to reveal a bit of what they're thinking of. Yes, you have, at this point, you have no watch, no earpiece, nothing. You start to reveal, you then tell them to actually just close the phone or erase what they wrote. They do that. You then take their phone, I have said correctly, you take their phone, you ask them to open their Safari, they open the Safari, you take the phone, you type what you think they picked on Safari. You can even show their friends the image search of what you think that they selected. They have never said it out loud up until now. They then say it, and you reveal what it is. It is, in my opinion, one of the best, the most deceptive peaks of all time. It is phenomenal. It will take some work, so you will have to prepare it a bit. It's gonna take you maybe 5 to 10 minutes to set it up. He goes over everything in the video, we're gonna talk about that, but it is, in my opinion, the best peak I've ever seen for a type of phone magic. It is phenomenal. But then he also gives you in the same vein, you have a ton of others called the DEVIOS system, which is essentially pairing an input and an output method, which means that you're going to, with the DEVIOS system, which is why this app is called as is, you're going to be able to have a way for a spectator to input information in a very clear manner and then retrieve it in even cleaner manners and some of the most intuitive manners that I've ever seen. Some of them are so fooling and so good. It is exceptional. So that's included as well. And then you also have a horoscope reveal, some item reveals as well that you can have, that you can do with your spectators as well. There's also a great free will plot included here. This is everything that you're going to get with the DEVIOS system. It is a lot. I did talk a lot about what it is because you do get so much with this. Don't think that this is just one thing. It's a multitude of things that I think are at the best level that I've ever seen phone magic pushed. Now that we know what it is, let's talk about where you get this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this pretty much anywhere. I do believe it is currently being distributed from Murphy's Magic. So it's going to set you back $60 US. And what you get here is this box. Inside of this box, you're going to get a link to Mark Lemon's website, which is going to have everything that you need in terms of tutorials. I think the tutorials are, as it says on the box, over 2 hours long. There's live performances of the effects of almost every single effect. There's a live performance. The tuition is great. It goes over everything that you need to know, how to set everything up, etc. It's also going to include the link to everything pre-made for you, so you're not going to have to make anything yourself. Everything is pre-made. And it also includes a small device. I think that if you look at the logo here without spoiling too much, you know what that device is. And that is phenomenal. I'm so happy that finally we have a project that uses such a tool and it's included for you. Like normally they always tell you, oh, just go buy it, just go buy it, just go buy it. Having someone actually give you the tool and give you his preferred tool included, I just feel is such a brilliant idea. And it's such a good idea because especially for me in Canada, most of the good ones that are used in magic tutorials and people tell you, oh, buy this one, they don't exist in the Canadian Amazon. And the ones that we have here on Amazon are pretty, to say it, you know, with TOS, pretty garbage. And this one is actually incredibly good. So the fact it's included is great. But if you already own one of these, I'm going to give you a tip. You can just buy the digital product and even save some money on shipping and even on price directly from Mark Lemon's website. So if you already have the tool that is included here, you can just buy the tutorial and the digital aspect of it at a discounted price on Mark Lemon's website. So that's my tip for you. But that's everything that you get with DEVIOS. Now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is DEVIOS to perform? Overall, it is relatively easy. Some of the routines are a bit more complex. For example, the one that I really like, which is kind of the toxic force to the whole audience, has a lot of moving parts. So you do have to remember a lot of things, a lot of beats, when you have to do things, how you have to do them, and how to do them well, right? For example, if you're doing the phone one, where they're inputting something random into Google, it's super simple. It's almost self-working. If you're doing the one where they input a random number on the calculator, they show it to their friends, they place it to your chest and you reveal it, super easy. If you do the horoscope one, the horoscope reveal, for example, super easy. If you want to do the one with the spectator's phone, it is a bit more difficult because there's a bit more things involved. But overall, nothing is way too difficult here. I would say it's an intermediate level project. I think that you have to be a bit familiar with phones and having done phone magic before and be familiar with some kind of ploys regarding that, and you'll be good to go in my opinion. Now let's move on to practicality. How practical is this? Well, you already have everything that you need on your phone. So all you have to do is carry around the little device and you are good to go. So pretty much zero pocket space. You just have your phone anyway with you day to day and you have your little device and you're good to go. In terms of inspectability, everything can be inspected. In terms of angles, the angles for the routines depend. Some of the routines is 360, some of them is 180, some of them it's 360, but they can check from below. But most of them, the angles are really good. I'd say overall, most of the routines are 360. Most of the routines can be done 360 surrounded with no problems. Some of them are a bit of an exception, which is a 180. For example, the one with the toxic force or the one on the spectator's phone is more of a 180 at certain points in the routine. In terms of table, you do not need a table. In terms of reset, these are all instant reset. What's really nice is that Mark has already built instant reset at the routine. So you can choose an option where you do the routine and it resets automatically for you to be able to do it again to the next person. So literally if their friend wants to be like, oh, I want to try, you can immediately do it without having to do anything with your phone again, which is very smart if you want to do something to a table where you have everyone do something at a table. It's looping essentially the reset so you don't have to manually start it again, which is great. Now let's talk about where to perform. So where do you perform this? This is something I feel that you can perform anywhere. This is something that you do close up. This is something that you can do table hopping. Even some of the routines, as I said, are things that you can do on stage, parlor, cabaret, because of how big they play and how well they play out. Now that we've said that, what are the positives and negatives of Devious? And first, let's start out with the negatives. Well, one of the negatives is that it is iPhone only. So it is only going to be available on iPhones, which means that Android user will not be able to access this treasure trove of effects. And another possible negative that could be regarding this is that for some of the routines, you do need to be connected to the internet, both yourself and the spectator, in order for the effect to work. So you're gonna have to make sure that is the case, because you don't want to start the routine with you having internet and then you tell the spectator, oh, can I look something on your phone? And then they say, oh, I don't have internet. And you're just there essentially with nothing to do, right? So you're gonna have to make sure you know about that beforehand. For some of the routines, some of them don't require that, but for some of the better routines, you have to make sure that that's the case. But in terms of the positives, one, the package that you get is incredibly fulfilling. You get everything that you need. For once, you even get the tool. This is the first time I've been begging people to include this tool with the actual project, and this one actually comes with it, which is great. Everything is pre-made, the tutorials are great, everything is well explained, the effects are stellar, they're foolers, they're incredible, they can be done pretty much surrounded, they're incredibly well detailed and constructed. It's overall just phenomenal, and it's overall one of the best phone projects I think on the market, and I think all of you that own an iPhone and like Mentalism specifically should give this a gander and should give this a look. So having said all of this, would I recommend Devious and what do I give it out of 10? I think it's pretty much obvious that I do recommend Devious. I think it will allow you to do some of the best mentalism in an impromptu setting that you can do. And I honestly think that this is better than most of the apps out there, not to degrade any of the apps, but I think that even things like Inject, Wikitest, etc. are not as good as what Devious achieves, and Devious achieves it in an even fairer manner. So that's everything I have to say. I fully recommend it. I'm giving Devious a 9.75 out of 10. It is almost the best phone project I've ever purchased, and I think that you will feel the same way if you actually decide to purchase it. That's all I have to say. If ever you have any comments or questions, leave them down below as always. If not, I'll see you all in my next one. Have a great one, and bye-bye.